Good morning friends, my name is Jyoti. I am assistant professor in the department of management, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. So, in the series of video lecture of retail management, the next topic is obviously we are talking about the store manager or the retailer. So, what can be the what should be the responsibility of a store manager? So, in this particular video lecture, we will study or we will have a discussion about the different responsibilities and the roles that a store manager has to perform while working in a particular retail outlet or in a particular store. So, we just move forward. So, who is called a store manager? Basically, an individual responsible for managing the overall functioning of the store. That person is called a store manager, means he or she, a manager can be a male or a female. So, any individual who is basically responsible for managing and supervising the overall functioning of the store, that person is called a store manager. A store manager basically takes care of the daily day to day operation of the stores in such a way so that the productivity or the profitability of that particular store can be maximized. And in simpler word, we can say that a retail store is a store manager's baby, means the store manager has to take care of the retail store in such a way as our parents basically do with us, means as parent just take care of us, and in such a way, in that way the store manager has to keep consideration of all the activities and the functioning of the store, so that whatever the purposes that store has established, that purpose or that objective can be obtained. Means these are basically the responsibilities of the store manager that he or she has to perform while working in the particular store or in the particular retail organization. The responsibilities like maintaining the sales environment, management of employees, cost minimization, recruitment training and development, managing budgets, implementing marketing plans, keep staff motivated, maintaining leave and salary record, managing the holding inventory, maintaining store harmony, providing customer services, ensuring safety of employees and inventory, preparing promotional material and display. So, these are basically the responsibilities of the store manager, and we will have a discussion or a deep discussion about different responsibilities of a store manager in the coming slides. So, the first responsibility that the retail or the store manager has to perform, that is maintaining the sales environment, means in the store things are displayed, or basically that the store manager obviously is responsible for maintaining the sale of the store. So, how it is possible? Means in a store things are displayed in such a way so that the customers can find everything they need easily. So, it is a responsibility of the store manager to keep everything at its place so that a customer find ease in accessing or in locating the product whatever he or she is having requirement. Other than he or she has to, means the store manager has also to make sure that the order of the things displayed, so that the customers can also get to know about the things on sale or on a special discount. Means there must be a proper visibility to the customer, so that a customer can get or easily locate whatever the merchandise he or she is required, and also they should know about the different discounts and offers provided by that particular store. So, that by doing this the store manager is able to maintain the environment of the sales of that particular retail outlet. Obviously, if the retail outlet has established with what motive? With a motive to increase the sales and ultimately resulting in profit. So, how this particular environment of sales can be maintained? So, by giving or providing a proper visibility, or having or keeping the things or keeping the merchandise at proper places, a retail manager or the store manager is able to maintain the environment of the sale in that particular store. The second one is management of employees. Obviously, that retail organization is a type of organization which will be operated by a group of employees, a group of human resource. So, how these employees can be managed, or why this management aspect should be done in order to maintain or in order to operate the store. So, the number of employees who work in a store depending on the size of the store. Obviously, if the store size is big, that requires a large number of human resource, and if the store is running on a smaller scale, that requires less number of people. So, whatever the size of the store, that requires or that determines the number of human resource required in order to perform the activities of the store. And it is the foremost duty, or it is the one of the duty of the manager of the store to manage their staff, whatever the number they have hired in order to operate, in order to run the retail store or the retail organization. And the store manager is also responsible for in such a way, so that the every staff member or every human resource that work in that retail organization, that they are doing their duty properly or not. So, these activities should also be supervised or checked by the retail management, so that employees activity can be supervised, and accordingly if someone is not doing a good task and someone is not taking their responsibility or not performing their responsibility in a in a good manner, so some corrective action should be taken in order to rectify them. Next, he or she is also responsible to settle disputes between customers and staff of the stores. Obviously, in Hindi there is a proverb that जहाँ चार बर्तन होते हैं वहाँ आवाज़ होती है. So, obviously, human being an organization is having human resource with diverse background, with different personality. Obviously, they are different, they are not unique in characteristic, they share the different characteristic. So, somehow while performing or while doing or while supervising the activities of the retail stores, some disputes or some conflicts arises in staff members too or with the customers too. So, a manager, also a store manager, is basically responsible for tackling these disputes or these showdowns available in the employees of the organization and also with the customers. So, that dispute must be handled tactfully, so that everyone, either we are talking about the human resource, means the employees of the organization and the outsiders like customers, they must be handled tactfully, so that they just feel that we are handled or redressed in a very positive way, and they do not get demotivated by the act of the store manager. Next is a manager also helps employees with their work if they do not know how to do something. Means if some human resource or some manpower, some employees are not performing well, then the manager is basically responsible for helping them out by knowing the reason, by fulfilling their requirement, by fulfilling their expectation, what they are expecting, what are the reasons that they are not performing in the particular roles and responsibility. So, the store manager is also responsible for doing this particular aspect too. And in addition to this, a manager basically is also responsible to keep to have a motivated manpower in the particular store, so that as per the situation, as per any uncertainty, those employees will prove like a shield, and they just they just get rid of the uncertainties on the problems that may happen at any time in the particular store. Means in totality we can say that, because retail organization consists of different types of manpower or the human resource. So, a retail manager or the store manager is responsible for handling these different types of personalities on different types of manpower in that particular store, so that the environment of that particular store cannot get hampered, and they just work in harmony, and they just work in a coordinated manner, so the objective of the particular store can be obtained. Next is cost minimization. Obviously, retail organization is a business entity which work with a motive to obviously the increasing the profit, but at the cost of at low cost they want to achieve basically. So, the store manager is responsible for looking this particular aspect too, means the cost minimization. Cost minimization means controlling the day to day expenses in order to run the store successfully. So, in order to take care of, in order to take consideration of this particular responsibility, a store manager is basically should apply or is responsible to apply effective policy, so that the total expenses for running a store can be minimized and hence profit can be maximized. This can be done. How this can be possible? This can be done by eliminating errors, wastage and accident. And cost minimization is crucial for stores who basically who has started its operation for the first time, for the new time, and also responsive and also suitable to those who are offering the merchandise of low price. Next is recruitment, training and development. Recruitment of staff is also one of the important responsibility of a store manager. A store manager invites applications and conduct interviews to hire the right personnel, and not only the store manager is responsible for recruitment and selection, but also he or she is responsible for to give training and do some development program from time to time to the employees of that particular store. Means obviously recruitment and selection can be done, suitable employees, whatever the candidate is having the efficiency or the suitable required skills, those individual will be hired by the store. So, those individual also needs some type of training, so that whatever the roles and responsibility they will be given in the coming time, they just do without any hassle or without any problem. And in order to develop the holistic personality and the holistic work of the human resource of the retail organization, some development program should be organized by the store manager from time to time in order to fulfill this particular purpose. So, that why this development program should be given by the store manager to employees with a motive, means the purpose for tackling the uncertainties which may happen in the coming time, in the future time, as the nature of the business is very diverse. So, uncertainties may happen any time. So, employees should be ready, or employees should be prepared in such a way, so that they are able to tackle the future uncertainties that may happen or that may come in coming time, in future time. So, it is one of the important responsibility of a store manager that he or she is responsible for inviting or selecting a suitable candidate, and also responsible for giving training and conducting certain development program for them to from time to time, so that the retail organization must have a pool of a pool of suitable or efficient candidate that can be utilized in a very optimum way or in a very good manner, so that the cost can also be maintained and the organization objective or the retail organization objective can also be obtained. Next is managing budget. Means our store manager is responsible to make understand each department's head about their targets and fund how much amount they are being allocated for conducting their activities in their particular section, in their particular head, and how much performance, how much sales they have given to the particular store. That must be analyzed by the store manager in order to forecast, in order to prepare a budgetary program or a report about the expenses and the revenue aspect, so that accordingly decision can be taken in order to have a sustainable position or have a sustainable financial condition of that particular store. Means the amount of every ad or the every activity should be compared with the profit of coming from those activities should be analyzed by the retail manager in such a way, so that accordingly future estimation can be done in order to fulfill, in order to maintain that particular gap. Next is implementing marketing plans. A store manager is also responsible for implementing or making or forming different plans for tackling or for surviving in different marketing situations. So, the success of a store basically relies on effective implementation of those marketing plans, and it is one of the important responsibility of a store manager is to implement that plan and make the staff of those store understands that they do not feel difficult in fulfilling the responsibilities as per the new plan, as per the plan that is required in order to survive, in order to tackle the situation that has happened in the market or that has happened by the contribution of the customers. Means as a store manager you have to implement certain plans or such plans which suits the efficiency of the human resource that you have, and so that accordingly you can utilize their skills, their efforts in a positive manner, in a very fruitful manner, so that the objective or the plan can be utilized in a very fruitful manner and your objective can be obtained basically. And a manager is also responsible to take training to understand work progress of a marketing plan. Means before introducing that, before implementing or before communicating that plan to the employees of the organization, of the retail organization, firstly the store managers just look after the after effect of that plan. Means that plan can be implemented, that plan can be fulfilled effectively by the employees or not. So, So, firstly the store manager is responsible to check out this particular aspect. So, in totality we can say that our retail manager is basically responsible for implement different marketing plans from time to time in order to tackle the future uncertainties or in order to tackle the situation that has arisen in the market due to any reason, due to any environmental factors. The next is keep staff motivated. As there are factor of production like money, material, machines are available, but without manpower it is not possible to fulfill your objective. So, it is very required, it is very necessary for the store manager that whatever the staff, whatever the employees that the store is having, they must be motivated, they must be happy, so that they just do whatever you want to do or they just do whatever the organization wants to do. So, if by your practices, if the staff of yours is motivated, is are happy, are satisfied with the working of the organization, with the working of yours, so they just love to do whatever the productivity or whatever the expectation the organization is having with them. So, role of or responsibility of a store manager is to keep his or her team motivated and provide solution from time to time whatever the problem they are coming and bringing to you. So, you should take care of this, and you should as a store manager you should also make sure that the team members are getting along with one another and working as a team. Means there is no any conflict, and whatever the member that you have formed in a group, they do not have any, they are not involving any type of conflict, and they are having a motivation factor, they are basically satisfied by the practices of yours. So, by doing this particular act, by doing this particular role of yours, you are somehow able to fulfill your objective whatever you want to achieve. Next is maintaining leave and salary record. Leave is also a very important aspect from employee side and employer side, and salary is also, means leave and salaries are both are very crucial aspect from employer and employees aspect. So, in addition to maintaining the flow of money of the store or the total sales, it is also very required for a store manager to have a record of staff salaries and their leaves, so that accordingly the cost and the expenses part can be analyzed. So, the store manager has to keep record up to date regarding the working hours of employees and their leaves. he or she should make sure that each and every staff is getting the salary as per time, as per their working hours, as per their efficiency, or as per their days, without any partiality. Means whatever if if an employee has taken a leave, so salary can be calculated by taking consideration of those leaves, so that a proper balance can be maintained between the leave and salary part. And he should also make sure that he or she should also make sure that staff members are fairly utilizing their CL and EL, uh, and also keeping the records up to date helps a store manager to keep record of or keep track of inflow and outflow of money. In this way, he or she can prepare logs, or he can prepare plans for making a profit in that particular store. Means if the retail store manager has maintained the leave and salary record properly, by doing this, he or she has done a very he or she is basically trying to make a balance between the expenses or the benefits that the retail organization or that the business organization is providing to the employees of the particular store or particular retail outlet. Next is managing and holding inventory. It is one of the important function. In the earlier classes I have explained that one of the important function performed by retailer is holding inventory. Means whenever a customer is coming with a requirement of product, that requirement of product must be fulfilled by the retailer. And how is it possible when the retailer has hold certain amount of inventory in the particular store? So, from time to time the inventory should be holded by the retailer, and also those level of inventory should be managed in a proper way, so that the retailer is able to fulfill the objective. Means keeping the track of inventory is also a job or role of a store manager. A manager makes sure to keep an appropriate level of inventory in the store, so that no goods go out of stock. Means whenever a customer comes with a requirement of product, that requirement must be fulfilled with the availability of the product. So, for this purpose, as a retailer, you have to stock the product, you have to make and hold and level of inventory in your particular store. So, it is very crucial job for the manager to keep record of incoming and outcoming inventory of the store. Means if the inventory is outgoing from the store, so that vacant place must be fulfilled with incoming, means that must be fulfilled with the proper level of inventory, so that the future order of the product from the customers can be fulfilled. And a customer always welcomed and fulfilled with the requirement. Obviously, being a store manager, you are trying to fulfill, you are trying to make your customers happy and satisfied. Means as customers, if we are satisfied with the assortment of merchandise of the store and also the services of the stores, somehow we become happy and want to repeat our behavior towards the particular store. Next is maintaining store harmony. Harmony is just like a peaceful act or a peaceful environment in the particular store. So, a retail manager is also responsible for maintaining the this particular aspect or this particular expectation in that particular store, and he or she has to make sure that there is always at harmony at different level of the store. Employees of different departments are getting along with one another and are not causing any issue or disturbance in the work of others. Means as in the organization there are 3 level, top, middle and lower level, and employees at every level needs or requires some numbers of people. So, being a store manager, you have to take care that whatever the employee is working at what level, they must work in a coordinated way, in a common way, so that the overall objective of profit earning and profit maximization of that particular store can be obtained. And it should be obtained without any issue or without any disturbance from in that particular store, so that he or she is responsible for the coordination, is responsible for maintaining a coordination among all the employees of the organization, and by doing this the store manager is able to maintain the the peace and happiness in that particular store. Next is providing customer services. Product uh, Providing product is one of the important function of the retail store or the store manager, but providing services, without services it should not be possible that the retail organization just fulfill its objective in the coming time, in the future time. So, in order to fulfill or in order to achieve or fulfill the motive of profit maximization, it is very crucial for the retail manager or the store manager that along with the product there must be certain services provided by the retail managers in order to keep the customers motivated and happy. Means if we talk about the responsibilities of the store manager is basically responsible for this particular aspect, and service provided to customers obviously vary from store to store and also influenced by the location of the store. Means if the location is good, then certain services like home delivery and free shipping facility can be provided by the store manager or the retail store, but if it is far, the location is not so much accessible by the store, so somehow these services may vary. So, obviously the level of service will depend upon the location of the store, means where the store has been set up or the store is located. Store provides basically the services like assistance with the product, free home delivery, credit facility, discount for bulk shopping, sharing information about offers and after sales services. Mean these type of services must be provided by the store manager or the retail store in order to keep the customers motivated or in order to repeat their behavior towards the particular store, that and he or she has to ensure that the customers the motivated customers or the happy or the satisfied customers just repeat their behaviors in the future coming time again and again, so that the store manager or the retail store is able to achieve the profit maximization objective. Next is it is also a duty of a store manager to keep special care of loyal customers of the store, that they are getting best of the services and ensure their satisfaction with the level of service. Means in context of today's, in the context of in the level of competition of today, we can say that it is very, and certain surveys and research have been conducted that to create customer is basically a most incurring process in comparison to retaining. Means creating customer is basically not so a big deal, but nowadays retaining customers is a big deal, and how the organization is able to retain the customers by providing the level of services or the best of services to the customers, to those customers, those who are coming again and again to your store. So, it is very important for a store manager to keep those customers loyal in such a way, so that again and again he or she will repeat the behavior towards the store, and also they just add more and more customers towards that particular store. In those way, in two ways, the retail organization or the store manager is somehow able to fulfill the objective of the profit maximization. So, it is one of the important responsibility of the store manager. Next, ensuring safety of employees and inventory. A store manager is responsible to make sure that his or her employees and inventory is safe, and he or she has to perform this duty on a everyday basis. It is a store manager job to keep in check and safety of stores building and let management know if any changes are required to make keep building its employees and customers are safe, so long as they are within the premises of the store. And in addition to this, he or she makes sure that all safety provisions are being met as per the guidelines of the government and municipal corporation. The main safety provisions include emergency fire exit and firefighting system. Means a store manager is not only responsible for maintaining the sale aspect of the store, but also he or she has to ensure safety of their employees and the inventory that have been holded in that particular store. Means if there changes are required, those changes must be communicated to the top management, so that accordingly corrective action can be taken in order to fulfill that gap, in order to rectify that activity or that change. So, retail store manager is also responsible for this particular aspect too. Next is preparing promotional materials and display. Setting promotional displays during festive seasons or when a sale is going on, and it is a part and parcel of a store manager's job. Means the store manager or the store is obviously able to create or earn the profit ratio, but how this profit ratio can be or will be maximized, so that accordingly and from time to time a retail store manager has to take decisions regarding the promotional activities of the stores. Like in Big Bazaar we see the EDLP strategy, means everyday low pricing strategy. From time to time we have an announcement that in this particular segment this particular discount will be offered, and if you as customers you purchase this type of benefit, you will get, obviously you will get benefited of that. So, a retail store manager is responsible for promotional activity of the store. Means from time to time as per the situation he or she needs to introduce that activity or that promotional program in the store, so that the profit level or the sale level can be maintained, it should not be hampered. And it requires innovative and creative skills, means how these promotional schemes or materials will be introduced to the customers. So, a store manager must be innovative or creative in order to introduce how those promotional schemes or promotional programs will be introduced in the store, so that the customers become happy or the customers can be motivated or attracted towards those schemes. That will obviously result in the increased profit ratio. And we have noticed that huge displayed in the store during festive season. Obviously means whenever in festive season we go to the retail store, we see that a particular type of display, a particular type of promotional scheme in the store. So, somehow it is the work of it is the innovative work of a retail manager. So, he or she is responsible for this particular aspect too, means he or she is responsible for preparing promotional materials and display too, so that a customer can be attracted and towards the store, and that get resultant in certain amount of sales, and that will resultant in profit aspect. So, in conclusion, we can say that a store runs successfully on the shoulders of its manager. A manager should be good at multitasking, because he or she not only has to keep the stores running smoothly without any conflicts, but also think strategies to get new customers and boost sales. A well composed and well informed managers can play an important role in making customers loyal for its businesses and recommend it to others. Means in totality we can say that a store manager must be a multitasking, must be dynamic enough, so that as per situation, as per the diverse situation and diverse scenario, he or she should act tactfully, so that that diverse situation, that uncertainty in the store can be tackled in a very proper manner, so that the sale and the profit aspect of that particular store will not be hampered. If you want to fetch more information about the particular topic, you can get from these references, and thank you.